Hey guys, this is Ashton from MuseThemes. Today I'm here to show you our newest release in our Connect series of CMS widgets called Table Connect. This is one of the most highly requested widgets from members since we launched our Connect series, and I'm super excited to share it with you today. If you've checked out any of our previous Connect widgets, you're already familiar with the Connect platform, which uses spreadsheets to easily and quickly manage and revise content directly on your Muse site, and this widget is no different. Spreadsheets are used to populate data into tables, as you can see here on the live demo. As with our other Connect widgets, if you're using the Google Sheets method, you and your clients can make updates to the tables instantly without ever even opening Muse. On this particular table here on our demo, we have 4 columns of info displayed nicely. I can click any of these header categories and instantly adjust the sorting of any column. There's a search function also incorporated, so let's say I'm searching for someone named Alexandra. I can start typing that in the search field, and the widget will automatically pull results based on your typing. Down here we have the ability to add pagination, which is a great option for those of you with large tables but don't want them to take up a large amount of space on your page. So it's a really powerful widget, and I think one of the coolest additions to Connect that we've seen yet. So let's dive right into Muse and we'll take a look at the setup. Once imported into your library, you can click the drop-down, and you'll see just one component available. This one's really simple, and it starts working immediately. So let's drag that out onto our page, and I'll go ahead and get it centered. Now if I jump right into the settings panel, you can see the widget comes preloaded with the spreadsheet keys for our samples. So I can actually go ahead and preview this in the browser already without changing anything, and we'll see the widget already functioning nicely. And there we go, it's already looking really good. Another thing I'll point out is that the widget will come already set up for really nice responsiveness. I haven't even added breakpoints to my project yet, and I can already scale the browser down. And when the space gets small enough, the columns will responsively scale themselves down really smoothly. Now once I get to about a mobile size, we get a really nice mobile appearance automatically, accompanied by these green button icons. These can be clicked to expand the sections to see extra information on your table that may not be visible from a given browser width. Some of you may even notice these buttons appear on your desktop size browser width if you're building larger tables, and it simply means that there are more columns present than are able to be viewed in the current browser size. So let me switch back over to Muse and we'll take a look at some of our options in the settings panel. The first field here is the unique ID. Now this is something that you come up with, and if you're only using the widget once on a particular page, then this doesn't even really matter. Just make sure that if you have more than one instance of this widget on your page, that you create a different unique ID for each widget occurrence so that the browser can tell them apart. Content source. Now like our previous Connect widgets, you have the option to use Google Sheets, or you can upload CSV files directly into the widget. Google Spreadsheets is definitely optimal and my recommendation, especially if you're new to these series of widgets or Muse as a whole. Google Sheets is quite easy to use, and it gives you the option to update the table content without having to open Muse at all, by anybody given access to the sheets. The local CSV option requires that you make changes to the actual CSV file that's loaded into the widget, so you can't make revisions remotely. Now this definitely could be a good option for those that might receive CSV files with data tables from clients or from work and need to incorporate them directly into Muse, but do keep in mind that those are importable into Google Sheets and can be made into a live version for this widget. So now let's get this set up with a brand new spreadsheet, and what you'll want to do is open the settings panel and look here towards the bottom, and you're going to find a link here to the Google Sheets content template. Simply click this and it'll load automatically in your browser. Great. So here we have our sample spreadsheet, but this version is not editable. So what we want to do is make a copy of this and publish it to the web fresh. So first we'll go to File and Make a Copy. Then you're going to be prompted to name your new spreadsheet, and this can be anything you want. Muse Themes is Life. And we'll go ahead and keep this stored on my Google Drive. And we'll click OK. And we'll get a brand new spreadsheet loaded up and ready to go. Now lastly, like I said, we need to publish this to the web. So we're going to go to File again, Publish to Web. We want to keep it as entire document, and we want this to be in the CSV format. Then we'll click Publish, and OK. So now the last thing we need is the spreadsheet key, and you can find this in the URL of the spreadsheet. So up here in the address bar, we're going to look right by this single letter and this slash. You're going to see a long string of numbers and letters all the way up to the next slash. This is your spreadsheet key. So we're going to go ahead and highlight this. And I'll go ahead and click Control-C or Command-C to copy. We'll head back into the Widget Settings panel. And Control-V or Command-V to paste. Awesome. So I'll go ahead and do a new browser preview. And there we go. We, of course, still have our sample content still showing, but I can now make changes to this in real time. So we'll go back to our Google Sheet, and let's change around some of these headers. I'll go ahead and change student name to employee. We'll change gender to male or female. And let's change class level to age. And that's it. I can already go back to my preview. I can refresh the page. And my changes are already reflected. I think that is such an awesome feature of all of our Connect widgets, and it allows you as the designer to put a lot of control in your client's hands and makes everything easier for yourself as well. So now let's change some of the column content. Let's take our employee, Anna. We'll say she studied hard, so she skipped a grade and she's a junior now. And she also lives on the edge, so she changed her major to math. And that's it. Once those fields are changed, I can go back to my preview. I'll refresh it once again. And there we go. Anna is now a junior math major. So next I want to take a look at our presets. I'm going to head back into the settings panel. And you may have noticed there's a second link down here. This directs you to another sample spreadsheet, but this time it's one that enables all kinds of styling controls for your spreadsheet. So we'll go ahead and click this. And just like before, we get our sample version loaded. And we're going to do the exact same process. We're going to go to File, make a copy. We'll rename this to Ashton's Presets. Click OK. And here we have our new editable version. So again, we'll go to File, Publish to Web. Make sure this is a CSV. And click Publish. And then lastly, all we need is our spreadsheet key. So we'll go up to that URL. Copy that. Back to the settings panel. And we'll paste that in the spreadsheet key field for presets. And there we go. I'm going to do a fresh preview since we did make a change in spreadsheet key. Great. Now let's take a closer look at those spreadsheet options. There are a ton here, and I'm not going to go through them one by one, but I definitely recommend taking a close look and experimenting around. There's plenty of fonts, sizing, coloring, and all kinds of things to customize. I will, however, point out rows 2 through 6 particularly. 2 through 5 up here are basically yes or no questions. So as it states here on the right, you can enter 0 to disable or 1 to enable. Line 2 here is for ordering. This allows the user to sort the table columns by clicking those headers, as I showed you earlier. Next option is pagination. This will give your spreadsheet multiple pages instead of listing everything all at once. Searching enables the search box, and info displays certain information about the table. And line 6 here is your page length. So if you've enabled pagination, this is where you're going to set the cutoff point for your content. So a couple of more quick things to go over. We're going to go back to the settings panel, and I'll go ahead and expand the settings dropdown. Preloader type. This is the graphic that you see on the page while the table is initially loading. So there's several options to pick from, many of which give you the option for both preloader color and preloader background color, which can be altered here. Local storage. Now this setting is offered to aid you as the designer during the setup and testing of your table. Since web browsers usually cache data as you're previewing your table, it can sometimes be difficult to see changes as they're made with caching on. So we've built in a local storage system that can be enabled, disabled, or set to a custom refresh interval. Our strong suggestion is to use the Do Not Store setting while you're setting up your table. And then once your table is complete, go ahead and change this setting to permanent. And lastly, the CSV download button. This is a cool little button that allows for the web visitor to instantly download the table data as a CSV file themselves, if you desire. So I'll go ahead and enable this just so you can see it in action. We'll do a fresh preview. And there we go. Right here on the top left, we have this CSV button placed. And clicking this will prompt a download of the table in a CSV format, which is pretty slick. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoy Table Connect as much as I have been. Very powerful widget with literally limitless applications. So have some fun, and as always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, we're always here to help. Enjoy!